죽은 나무는
Fruits are not yielded,
과일도
and
열리지
flowers
않고
do not bloom in dead trees.
꽃도 피지 않는다. 오늘
The reason why Maitreya Buddha has come to this world is
사바세계에 온 건
a person comes into this world and dies as he ages.
때가 돼서 늙으면은 인간이 죽는다.
We cannot come back once we come and leave this world.
다시 올 수가 없잖아.
However, there is good Buddhism which tells people to come to this world again. That's why Maitreya Buddha has come to this world. If a man dies, he cannot come back to this world. No one can come back to this world after death. It's over when a person dies. No one can come back to this world.
살다가 죽으면은 다시 올 수가 없다.
So there is only one way to come back to this world.
사람이 살다가 죽으면은 다시 올 수가 있는 길이 딱 한 가지가 있다 그 얘기다.
What is it? It means that Maitreya Buddha has come to this world to tell people about it. People can come back to this world if they die.
다시 올 수가 있어.
So when people are alive, they don't know much about death. The most precious thing is life and death. The reason why Maitreya Buddha comes to this world is to tell people the way to come back to this world. There are reasons for people to come back to this world.
오는 것도 다 이유가 있고 뜻이 있지.
There are a lot of religions in the world.
많은 불법도 피고 세상에 많은 종교가 많이 있는데 그
But in these religions, people will die impermanently.
무상하게 끝나는 종교예요.
Maitreya Buddha has come to the Sabbath world because there is a way for people to come back to this world after death.
세상에 살다가 다시 사바세계에 올 수 있는 길이 있기 때문에 그걸
It's Maitreya Buddha who comes to tell people about it. People may think that it is a good thing to pray to Maitreya Buddha because good things might happen. There is nothing good about praying to Buddha. People need to be enlightened to have good things and accomplish everything. If people pray to the Buddha to be blessed,
부처한테 비로소 부처한테
it does not make sense.
그건 잘못되어 있다 그 뜻이죠.
I told you last time,
지난번에도
fruits
내가
are not yielded,
해줬는데
and
죽은
flowers do
나무는
not bloom in dead trees.
과일도 열지도 않고 꽃도 피지 않는다 내가 그랬어.
Only when the trees are alive, fruits are yielded. Do dead trees yield fruits or flowers? That's what I'm saying.
무슨 과일 꽃이 피겠는가? 그 뜻이지. 사람이
If people die, it's useless. No use. They cannot do anything. So it is important for people to achieve everything when they are alive. Buddha is a Buddha when the Buddha is alive. When the Buddha dies, it is the end of the Buddha. It is because people don't know. What do you want from Buddha if he is dead? Wait for the fruit to be yielded. Will the fruit be yielded? If people die, they are over. No matter how good the person is, how smart the person is, and how much the person learns, it's over when he dies. You need to listen to me carefully. These are precious words, so you have to listen carefully. No matter how rich the person is, it's over when the person dies. Since Maitreya Buddha has come to the Sabbath world with precious enlightenment, everyone must listen to Maitreya Buddha and learn the enlightened teachings. Flowers don't bloom in dead. Of course, it's dead. If Buddha dies, it is the end. The Buddha is also a person who comes and goes. The Buddha does not come in a particular shape. So why does the Buddha come to the Sabbath world? Many people who live in this world will die when they get old. Buddha is here to show people the way to come back when they die.
죽음을 다시 돌아올 수 있는 길을 일러주기 위해서 온 게 부처라니까.
If people die, they can come back. That's what I'm saying. There is only one way. So what is that way? By the Buddha's light, human beings come back after the image of the body that the human beings had in their lifetime is extinguished. This is called reincarnation. People can come back again. No matter how good a man may be, it's no use in the face of death.
죽음 앞에는 다 소용없는 거예요.
You have to learn well. How did man come to the world? No one made the man. A human being can be made and come out of another human body. Aren't people giving birth to people? Then a person gives birth to a man. When people come into the world, they don't just come out. There is a meaning when a person comes into the world. What does that mean? This is the most precious teaching of enlightenment on earth. When people come to the world, they don't just come. Buddhism is less than 0.1% of all things in the world.
0.1%도 안 돼요. 불법이라는 거.
Buddha is not a person who enlightened Buddhism,
부처가 아니고 부처는
but a person who enlightened all things.
부처가 되는 거예요.
So when comparing the human beings to all things in the world, human beings are less than 0.1%. Then how did the man come to this world? There is no answer to it in the existing religion. That's not even on the list. No one knows this. Only the Maitreya Buddha knows this on earth. Well, how did a man come to the world? That is called the thought of gong. People are always supposed to come to earth. It's very difficult, and the first time people hear it, they won't understand what this means. When it is interpreted as Buddhism for a person to come into this world, it is a thought of gong. When the persimmon tree is alive, the persimmons grow in clusters and flowers bloom. But when the persimmon tree dies, the persimmon trees don't produce any persimmons. And of course, they don't bloom. That means the dead person cannot do anything. If the Buddha passes away, he cannot do anything for people. It means that Buddha does not come to the world to bless the living beings. Buddha comes to this world to give enlightenment to living beings, not to bless them or answer to their prayers. Buddha doesn't have that ability. Therefore, humans can go on the path of reincarnation only when they learn enlightened Buddhism from Buddha. when he is
다시
alive.
윤회 길로 갈 수가 있는 거예요.
Man is called human.
인간은 사람이라고 그러죠.
Humans are originally humans. Humans cannot become animals. The existing Buddhism doesn't make sense in many ways. There are a lot of lies and a lot of things wrong. Persimmon trees produce persimmons. Persimmon trees don't produce apples or pears. Understand? In existing religions, it is that a man dies and becomes an animal, or a man may be reborn as a cow or a pig. They have made this kind of strange teaching, write scriptures, and promoting Buddhism, which are all lies. If we sow beans, we will reap beans. Will we reap potatoes or sweet potatoes? It's all a lie. If a person commits a crime when he is alive, he will go to hell. Or he will become an animal. This is what the existing religion is claiming. It's all lies. It's a lie. No matter how many sins and evil a man commits, he does not become an animal. They say that because they don't understand the world and they don't have a sense of enlightenment. That's a lie. Why are they lying? Nowadays, there are many religious books. But in the past, there were not many religious books. So the monks brought some fortune books into the temples. And monks let people present an offering in front of fortune books, which was a strange behavior. No matter how many sins a person commits, or how many bad things the person did, he cannot become an animal. People with existing religions don't have the enlightenment, so that they don't know about it. But Buddha knows about it clearly. Therefore, if a person commits a crime, bad behavior remains, but he or she does not become a livestock. That's why when Maitreya Buddha comes to the Sabbath world and tells people about the thought of gong, the answer is there. Everyone should come to Maitreya Buddha and learn the enlightened Buddhism.
깨우친 불법을 사사를 받아야 돼요.
The existing religion is
잘
wrong.
못되다 그 얘기야. 또
And in traditional religions, monks do the chondo by chanting the name of Buddha. Are the souls released by chanting the name of Buddha?
연불은
Chanting the name of Buddha has nothing to do with the chondo. You have to plant beans to sprout, and you have to eat to get full. Are you full because you are chanting the name of Buddha? It's useless. People don't know very much about it. When humans die, they can't see anything. It is heartbreaking. It must be heartbreaking to leave this wonderful world. If people plant beans, beans will sprout. If a person dies, it is just the end. It turns out that people are worse than beans. There is nothing great for man to show off. People cannot come back if they die. Human beings are worse than beans. There are a lot of monks who are promoting Buddhism in this world. But there is no monk who is responsible to tell us the way to come back to this world again. People go to temples because they think good things might happen to them. People can live well even if they don't go to the temple. So there is a way for human beings to come back after death. The way is precious. Then what is it? The way to extinguish the physical image that the soul has when he or she is alive, which is called the basic conscious.
영가는 죽어서도 갖고 다녀요. 요즘 말로 치면은 아래야식이라고 그러죠. 그걸 갖고 다닌다고. 그 형상을 부처님의 광명의 빛으로
and go on the path of reincarnation with a clean spiritual body. This is called reincarnation. It means chanting the name of Buddha cannot release souls. Chanting the name of Buddha has nothing to do with chondo. These are all lies. That's why Maitreya Buddha has brought the thought of gong when he comes to the Saba world. The thought of gong in existing religion is not gong. When the gong is interpreted in Chinese, it means empty. But that is not true. All things in the world are made up of the thought of gong. Only when monks learn such great Buddhism, they can save all living beings.
중생을 지을 수가 있는 거지.
If they don't know about it and say they save all living beings, it is just a lie. And some monks don't like Buddha's presence. Why did they choose to become monks if they don't like the Buddha's presence? They don't deserve to be monks, do they? I don't know who these monks believe in when they practice. The Buddha statue? The Buddha statue is not the Buddha. The Buddha statue is not the Buddha. The Buddha statue is like a dead persimmon tree. Only when the Buddha is alive can the Buddha redeem people by giving sermons. The Buddha has passed away. Then how can the Buddha redeem people? The Buddha statue is like a dead persimmon tree. So what is religion on earth? It is not just applicable to Buddhism. Religions are the same. All religions are the same. It's not like that Buddhism is bad and other religions are good. So what is religion? Religion is not a religion if it is invisible.
눈으로 보이지 않는 건 종교가 아니다.
People have to learn again. All Buddhists and monks have to learn again. What is a religion? What is invisible is not a religion. Religion should be visible and be verified. So what is the thought of Gong? Gong should always be visible and verified.
또 언제든지 확인이 돼야 돼요. 확인이.
If it can't be verified, it's not a religion. It's fake. If it can't be confirmed, it is a lie. If it is not visible, it is a lie. It should always be there. This is called the thought of Gong. Father must be alive in order for the Father to reply to us when we call out for him. Yes or no? If Father dies, even if we call him, the Father will not answer. We can't see Father. Father will never answer to us, and we can't verify his presence. The Father can talk to his child only when the Father is alive. Only when there is a conversation can we know that we have a Father. What is this? This is called thought of causation. All religions in this world are useless.
전부 다 쓸모없는 종교다.
Try to save the dead person. Will the dead person revive? Wouldn't it be nice to have the technology to save a dead person?
얼마나 좋겠어.
If their religion is so good, people can learn a lot from that religion, and people are proud of their religion. Then revive the dead. Can they do this? So I don't know what they believe in when they say believe in a religion. Think about it. It originates from human greed. People long for good things to happen when they believe in religions. They think, if I go to temple and pray hard, will the Buddha just let me be alone? Buddha will bless me, right? People go to temple with this kind of mind. What can the Buddha give when there is no Buddha? There is nothing. Nowadays, the world is developing as well as the artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence, etc. Oh, that is still far away. I can't tell you everything because I don't have enough time. I already know something that even if humans never know, even if they do research until thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, hundreds of millions of years have passed. Look at these flowers. Humans don't know how this flower blooms, no matter how much science has developed, and no matter how much research people do. They don't know how these flowers bloom. All humans in the world have to come to me and learn. How did the flowers bloom? How did this flower bloom and come to this world? Only I know this on this planet. If the monks are knowledgeable and smart, why don't they come to me? They can't even say a word, even if they come to me. If I ask them, can they understand? A monk came to me and pretended to know. With such a crappy Buddhism, he pretended to know. He is not even a monk. Can it be called Buddhism? People who don't know about Buddhism are confused, right? That's why these people are the ordinary people, because they confused. That means they haven't fully studied. All religious people or practitioners haven't fully studied. They don't understand what I'm saying. The sun rises and the light shines on earth, right? All things can live only when there is the sunlight. All things can't live without the sunlight. Without the sunlight, everything will disappear. Even if there is the sunlight, try to plant grain in the shade under the tree. If the grain is planted in the shade under a tree without seeing the sunlight, the grain will not bear fruit. Only after receiving enough sunlight, the grain will bear fruit. People are the same. People need to receive the Buddha's light in order to come back to the world. It makes sense. Think about it. Plant the grain in the shade under the tree. Is it going to bear fruit? The grain is absolutely unfruitful. It has only shape, not fruit inside. There is no fruit. Even if it is planted again, it doesn't sprout. What is the shade? The grain cannot bear fruit because it has not received the sunlight, right? The same goes for people. People also need to receive the Buddha's light in order to come back to the world. The same thing. That's why the dead person's chondo is also done with the Buddha's light, not by chanting the Buddha's name.
연불로 무슨 천도를 해요?
The dead person has nothing to do with chanting the Buddha's name. It's useless. It's the same thing. Like all things can live when they receive the sunlight. Humans must also receive the Buddha's light. Since the Shakyamuni Buddha has already passed away, there is nothing. Humans can come back to the world only when they receive the Maitreya-Buddha's light, who came to the Sabbath world. No one is good and no one is bad. People are the same. The good man is the same as the bad man. They will all be gone after death. Even if he is rich, it's over after death. A man dies and leaves a name. What does it mean by leaving a name? It means it's over after death. It is like telling people what kind of person he was when he is alive. Am I right? It's useless to leave a name after death. People should come back to the world after death. The people who farmed last year have harvested in the fall and are now resting in winter. If they don't plant grain, there will be no grain. This year, they have to plant new grain in 2021 to produce rice. If they don't plant grain, grain won't come out, right? The same goes for people. People can come again, just like rice comes to the world.
세상에 오는 것처럼 다시 올 수가 있다고 얘기해요. 나는 그동안에 여러 사람을
I have released many souls, and I know which soul goes into which family and grows as a child of that family.
흘러가기나 다 알고 있어요.
I have released many souls, and I know exactly which soul enters into which family and grow as children in that family. However, I do not tell those descendants because I am worried that descendants might get stuck. I know everything. I told you about it once before, right? People can definitely come back again. This is the first time I am sending this sermon out to the world. This is the first sermon sent to the world through YouTube. I wasn't trying to send the sermon out to the world. Why? When the enlightened Maitreya Buddhism comes into the world, existing practitioners with existing religions cannot use the Dharma of all living beings. The monks oppose the enlightened Buddhism because when the enlightened Buddhism comes into the world, the existing Buddhism, which is the Dharma of all living beings, cannot be used. We have repeated requests to broadcast the Maitreya Buddha's enlightened Buddhism. The Buddhist broadcasting station staff denied it. Why were they against it? The monks who believe in the existing Buddhism are so confused that they were opposed to it. There are many temples with Maitreya Buddha statues. Then why do monks keep the statue of Maitreya Buddha in the temple? Wasn't the Maitreya Buddha invented to come in the future? So why are they keeping the statue of Maitreya Buddha? It's the same thing as asking Maitreya Buddha to die and leave quickly. It is the same thing as even if the Buddha is the enlightened Buddhism, they can't accept it. Why do monks keep the statue of Maitreya Buddha? They are bad people. Why do they become monks? It is kind of committing sins. How good the world is. Why don't they go out to do business and make money since the world is so good to live? It's a precious body that can never come to the world again if they die. Why do they sit in the temple with their heads shaved? They become monks to lead an easy life, not to save people. It doesn't mean that they become monks to save people. So what kind of good deeds do the monks do to accumulate merits and virtues? I have asked about this before, several times. They answered they haven't accumulated any merits or virtues. So why are they sitting in the temples? I can't communicate well with monks. Being a practitioner means that one must always empty his mind and have a compassionate mind to save people. The monks have to empty their mind and always have a merciful mind to save people's life. How can they save people with such stubborn personality? Although Maitreya Buddha has come to the Sabbath world, they oppose the Buddha's coming. Then who are the monks running the temple for? Who are they promoting Buddhism for? They are running temples to make money, not for the sake of people. I didn't mean to promote Buddhism from the beginning. I was just trying to write a book that can enlighten people. And that time I met the monk Tam-young-heu, who was so sick that she was close to death. She met me while she was on the verge of death. The monk Tam-young-heu had her teacher, and the temple where she practiced was quite large and had many monks. But while practicing well there, she got sick. And she was told to leave the temple because she was sick. When she practiced well and worked well, she was welcomed. When she got sick, she was ill-treated. That's not even a temple. From a human perspective, if a person cannot behave as a person, that person can't even be animals. The monks who build a temple to save people should provide therapy to their practitioners if they get sick.
수행자가 수행하다가 몸이 아프면 치료를 해줘야 되는 거지. 그걸
What kind of place is it if they refuse to take care of their sick practitioners and let them leave because providing therapy to the sick practitioners might cost a lot?
뭐 하는데 거기가?
I didn't mention about it. But even communist countries can't do that. If I talk about it, it's not even a temple. They are not even humans. They are worse than animals. They ask dying practitioners to leave. Can it be a temple? They do such thing in human form. And the Buddhists who go to such temples are pathetic people. Will good things happen to them if they go to the temples? Or will they earn well if they go to the temples? People who go to such places are stupid as pigs. So the monk Taemyongheu came to me because she was sick. And I found that the souls of her ancestors were not released. People don't know well when they live. They don't know if they have committed sins or not. Then, after they die, they feel regret for their past misdeeds. Not being able to be reincarnated into humans, the lost souls were traveling around in snow and rain, suffering from being cold and hungry. The souls caused their descendants such pain. I found her ancestors were not released. So I told the monk Taemyongheu about it. Then the monk Taemyongheu said she did a lot of chondojes at her temple. What's the use of doing a lot of chondojes? Even if she did 10,000 times of chondojes, the souls wouldn't be released. She said that she became a monk because she believed her teacher was a Buddha. That's ridiculous. What kind of Buddha is there? What do you call someone who lies? What do you call someone who tells a downright lie? Isn't he a real scammer if he lies? If someone makes money by cheating, he or she won't be even a ghost after death. He or she will disappear after death. Please wake up. So I told the monk Taemyongheu that if I do chondo for her ancestors, her body will get better right away. She told me she had done more than 10 times of chondojes and also built the Yongtap, stone pagoda for souls. Is the Yongtap, stone pagoda for souls, something like a colander? It costs a lot to build a Yongtap. The monks sold the Yongtap to their disciples at a high price.
어떻게 생각하면은
In a way, they are people who have no blood or tears. If they sell out the young top, isn't the monk Taemyongheu supposed to get better? Her health got even worse. And what's more, her younger sister, who was also a monk, was on the verge of death. I know well because I have seen it. I told her that her body would get better if I do chondo for her ancestors. Then she asked me to do chondo for her ancestors. I had nothing to do with that temple, so I told her to go to her temple late at night when nobody was there.
스님들 있으면 올라가면 또 눈치 보이니까 밤늦게 아무도 없을 때 올라가서 법당에 가서 앉아 있으시오. 있으면은
I was at a different place. I told her to sit in the sanctuary of her temple at 10 p.m. and told her that it would take 20 minutes to finish the chondo. So I did the chondo for her ancestors. As I finished it, I texted her. I told her the chondo was finished. Then soon, she replied to me, saying that her body got better immediately. If she had died, you may not believe it, but she became the master juji of Anyang Surisan Yonghwasa Temple. Then you can ask her whether it is a lie or not. She found her body got better right away. Then she regained her health. Now she is practicing well, chanting well, and running the temple well. Her younger sister, who was put on a ventilator and waiting for the day to die, got better right away, and now are practicing well, running a temple. This is something that monks who operate temples all over the country should listen to and keep in mind. There is no such great sin when people say that they can do what they can't do. If somebody can't do it, he or she shouldn't do it. How precious is human life? If the monk Taemyongheu hadn't met me, she'd be dead. She would be dead. Her ancestors were sticking to her to take her to the underworld. Would they just let go? There are enormous ghosts on this planet. If our country's population is 50 million, there are hundreds of thousands of ghosts. If people die, they will go to a good place. The religion claiming such thing is not even a religion, right? What's the use of going to a good place after death? It's already after death. It's best when somebody is alive. The dead can't even take a sip of water. The dead cannot eat because they don't have bodies. People have to be alive. There are proverbs, right? Like, the dead say nothing. What's the use of going to the pure land of utmost bliss? It's the place somebody goes after death. It's best when someone is alive. I want to attain Buddhahood, so I became a monk. Why would I become a monk? There are a lot of monks saying these. I have met. However, if they say such thing, they are not even practitioners. What is attaining Buddhahood? It means that someone becomes a Buddha after death, right? What's the use of becoming a Buddha? It's all useless. Becoming a Buddha after death? How does a person who becomes a Buddha after death live? Nobody in the world cannot see the dead. Is there anyone who have seen someone attaining the Buddhahood after death and living well or not in the pure land of utmost bliss? There is no one who can see that. I'm the only one who can see it. I can see it well. I can see the dead well. I can see the souls coming into the temple when there is a chondoje. What does attaining Buddhahood after death mean? For people who can't live well, even if they are alive, when a tree dies, people cut down a good tree, build a house with it. What do you do with a useless tree? The useless trees will disappear in fire. It is precious when someone is alive. It's all useless after death. It's not impermanent, but it's useless. What does attaining Buddhahood after death mean? Then call the Shakyamuni Buddha. Does he answer? There will be a good thing if we pray in front of the Shakyamuni Buddha statue, because the Shakyamuni Buddha has accumulated a lot of merits and virtues by doing good deeds. If we pray in front of the Shakyamuni Buddha statue, we will be lucky and everything will go well. What does the blessing that Shakyamuni Buddha had built have to do with the sentient beings? Shakyamuni Buddha is Shakyamuni Buddha, and the sentient beings are the sentient beings. The religion is crappy because they don't know how to distinguish it. The life of Shakyamuni Buddha belongs to Shakyamuni Buddha, and the lives of the sentient beings belong to the sentient beings. The Shakyamuni Buddha has nothing to do with the sentient beings. That's why when humans come into the world, they have to be enlightened. Human beings are living their own lives. Whenever someone is having a hard time, he or she prays to the Shakyamuni Buddha to help him or her out. What does the Shakyamuni Buddha have to do with anyone? That person lives his life. You are living your life. What does the Shakyamuni Buddha have to do with you? Shakyamuni Buddha have nothing to do with you. Now the Maitreya Buddha has come to this world. Then does the Maitreya Buddha have anything to do with you? No. You have nothing to do with the Maitreya Buddha. Maitreya Buddha is here to teach people how to live their lives because they may not live well. What does it have to do with you and Maitreya Buddha? Then when the Maitreya Buddha dies, you should follow him? Right or not? It's irrelevant. So that's why religion should be enlightened. So the Buddha statue sitting here is the same as the dead persimmon tree. Dead persimmon trees do not produce any persimmon. You know me well. You have been taught by me for about 10 years. Maitreya Buddha has enlightened all things in the world. When they say all things in the world, it means all living creatures. Come and talk to me, anyone. Cherry trees bloom in spring, right? Acacia trees bloom. You may think the trees bloom because the spring comes. Humans don't know why trees bloom. It contains precious enlightenment in it. It contains something precious. What does it mean by living well? The person lives well and can be reincarnated into a human being, not owing the Buddha a favor. Is the person who lived the best life. I call the enlightenment as enlightened Buddhism because I have shaved my head and become a Buddha. Speaking of enlightenment, I can be called as someone who enlightened all things, right? When I say enlightenment, I don't mean to ignore the monks. But the monks haven't become enlightened at all. Also, no matter how educated a person is, take someone who has a doctoral degree, for example. When I talk to that person, he is still an ordinary person. He has no enlightenment. I have come to the Sabbath world with this precious enlightenment. Everyone must come to me and study the enlightenment from me in this wonderful opportunity. If you don't learn this, the world will end. Look carefully. Every day there are accidents, right? There are always a lot of bad news, right? Everything has a meaning. It has a meaning. Human beings are supposed to have such accidents. You have to come to me and learn this. Everyone has to learn from me. Today, it's the birthday of Maitreya Buddha. And I'm grateful that you guys made an offer of some really nice flowers and delicious fruits.
좋은 꽃도 갖다 놓고, 에? 맛있는 과일도 갖다 올려놓고 해서 고맙기도 하지 내가 생각할 때.
But I don't have anything that deserves something like this.
그런 건 없어요.
I'm not trying to receive this, and I don't know if you offer it as a sign of gratitude. But I'm a person, and you are also a person. There's not much that I have done, but I'm grateful for seeing that you prepared it so well. In the meantime, I did a lot of chondo at Yonghwasa Temple. Originally, the Buddha doesn't come to do chondo for people. But when I see those Buddhists come to the temple, there are always problems in their families and having a hard time in life. That's why I did chondo for their ancestors. When I see those people who are possessed with spirits and become insane, I feel bad.
미친 사람들. 이런 사람들 보면은 마음이 안 좋죠.
When a person comes into the world and dies, it is difficult to be reincarnated into a person again. It's just the end if a person dies. And how can I refuse to help those people who are insane? The Buddha didn't come to the world to do anything like that. So when I tried to take away the spirits from those crazy people, people possessed by spirits kept coming. I took away a lot of spirits. If somebody has a spirit in his or her body, the spirit shouldn't be taken off. It's like cutting the water with a knife. Spirits don't have a physical form. They are made of light. That's why it is impossible to detach the spirits. The spirits are the ghosts of human beings. They should be released. When they are released and reincarnated into human beings, they can be reborn into human beings. So releasing the spirits adhering to people is the same as releasing the ghosts of human beings.
죽은 사람 영가를 천도한 거랑 똑같아요, 천도는.
A dead person has been rid of the physical body, and only the soul remains. Everyone, think about it. If you die, you also leave behind your body and become a ghost. Isn't it pathetic just to think about? You will be dumbfounded. How would it be if you experience it? When I see people living their lives, very few people live their lives in a very healthy way. People get sick after they live a little and die. This is life. Life is not long. I told you this once. If a man can live for 300 to 500 years, who will go to the pure land of utmost bliss after death? That's what I'm saying. Let's live 300 years or 500 years in good health.
누가 극락을 가?
Who will go to the pure land of the utmost bliss? There will be no one. The monks who practice are trying to attain the Buddhahood after death because they think it will be good to be a Buddha after death. They think, if I die, I want to be a Buddha. With that in mind, there are a lot of monks who are practicing Zen meditation at this time. Do they think becoming a Buddha after death is a good thing? It's the best when someone is alive. They don't even know what the Pure Land of utmost bliss is. Did they go there? Did they hear from the people who had been to the Pure Land of the utmost bliss? Is there anyone who has been there and told them about the place? There is no one. They don't know what the Pure Land of the utmost bliss is. You have come to the Sabbath world with your precious bodies. You live a very rewarding life because you brought that precious body with you, right? It should be worthwhile. A day is very precious. Every day should be precious and rewarding. That's the best way to live. That one is the best living person. You don't know about it. Shakyamuni Buddha is gone, right? No one knows where he is sitting or how he's sitting. I'm the only one who knows it. Who knows where the Shakyamuni Buddha is and how he is now? I'm the only one who knows it, right? Have the monks ever gone to the Pure Land of utmost bliss? Are they told by someone who had been there and heard that what kind of place the Pure Land of utmost bliss is? They are just believing in groundless words. I've been talking about it. This time is the most precious when someone is alive. It's best when someone is alive. That's all you need to know. To do that, everyone has to live worthily. That's why the Maitreya Buddha is here. In order for you to live a more precious life and live more wisely, the Maitreya Buddha is here to enlighten you. You learned a lot today, right? Should we end it now? After watching Maitreya-Buddha's TV, many people enter into YouTube and click subscribe and like. The people click subscribe and like after watching our YouTube.
미륵부처님의 불법을 유튜브를 보고 누리는 거 아니야? 그렇지? 그러니까
Those who tap on, subscribe, and like are interacting with Maitreya-Buddha. So they are receiving the Buddha's light. That's what it means. Like the sunlight, when the sun rises, the sunlight shines upon the earth. It is the same logic. The light of Maitreya Buddha is the same sunlight.
미륵부처님의 광명의 빛도 태양의 빛이나 똑같다 그 얘기요. 그러니까
The Buddha's light shines upon mankind.
비치고 있는 거거든. 그러니까
I said this before.
전날에도 그랬어.
People who live in countries like US, China, or other foreign countries, and they want to come here to release the souls of their ancestors, but they can't because they are far away from here. Also can do the Chondoje if they send the fee for the soul release ceremony for their ancestors, even if the family cannot come. Therefore, the Buddha's light shines on the whole earth, so people who live elsewhere can receive the Buddha's light equally. So those who click subscribe and like are always interacting with the Maitreya Buddha. They are always in the Buddha's light. They are blessed with very good luck. So the people who can't come to Yonghwasa Temple because they're busy or they are far away from the temple, it's good to chant the Maitreya Buddha's name because it is like interacting with Maitreya Buddha. So I told you beforehand, right? The living Buddha is precious. You understand? The living Buddha is precious. So if somebody chants the name of the living Buddha, it's connected right away. That's why it's precious. So it's good to chant the Maitreya Buddha's name a lot. There will always be a lot of good things happening.
감사합니다.